Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the week of July 29th. Welcome. We are going to jump right in here. You have this crescent moon card. It says, as the moon grows, so can your wealth, health, and happiness. Stay positive. You have this delicate rose. It says, be willing to honestly say what you feel, no matter how terrifying it may seem. So there you go, Leo. I feel like you need to speak up in some situation. Let's see where you're going to speak up. Could be work, like maybe you need to tell your boss that they suck, or maybe you need to maybe you're trying to leave a situation at work and you need to speak up that way. Could be anything, so let's keep this going. But you have the Knight of Swords, the Seven of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles. You know, the Seven of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles is kind of like protecting your peace. You know, the Ten of Pentacles is everything that you want and desire in your life, and the Seven of Wands would be defending your position at the top of a hill. And we have a bunch of sevens here. We have 777, which could be an important number for you, but the two sevens like this is internal fears that don't exist. So definitely it is time for you to release your fears in all areas of your life so that you can accomplish great things. And we have a bunch of cards of speaking in the reading. So Ace of Swords, Eight of Wands, you know, even the Knight of Swords as well can be a card of like speaking up or speaking your mind. So it could be a good time. You know, I think it is a good time for you to speak your mind, especially if there's been something that you've been thinking about for a long time. Even though we're very, very close to the retrograde this week, it starts on the 5th. So, you know, we're very close. But what I would say is that, you know, again, if you've been thinking about saying something, you know, in work or business or whatever it is, you know, since before the retrograde, then, you know, it's perfectly fine to speak up at this time. The Knight of Swords also represents no jumping to conclusions. And so, I think I said this to you in your last reading as well, for the month of August. I'm pretty sure it was you that had the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords always reminds me not to jump to conclusions. Like it says, you know, before you react to something that's happening in your life, you know, take some time to think about it and don't just like rush. You have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands, I was getting like protect your peace or trying to protect your peace, or that's exactly what you're trying to do with the Seven of Wands. And maybe there's like a little bit of fear attached to that. So if you've been thinking about speaking up in some area of your life, you know, the fear of interrupting your peace, or, you know, fearing that it's going to interrupt your peace if you do that, could be what's holding you back a little bit right now. I feel like the Seven of Wands is encouraging you to open up a little bit. You know, he's pretty closed off here. He also feels like he's not ready, and I'm pretty sure you also had this card in August, because I seem to remember talking to you about how, you know, even if you feel like you're not ready to do something, you're pretty much as ready as you're going to be, so you might as well get started. And this could be anything. It's probably something that you are wanting to take control on, because we have the Chariot to the Ace of Swords. Both cards represent a victory, so whatever you're hoping to take control on, or whatever you're hoping to do, you know, I would take action on it, especially if it has to do with your finances. You know, 10 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles here. You know, it's already looking like a good pentacle reading. 10 of Pentacles is pretty much everything you want and desire in your life. So it forms the tree of life on the 10 of Pentacles, and it kind of represents like building or leaving a legacy. I do feel like Leo is one of the signs that is working on building something, you know, long-term, or something that will bring long-term success into their lives. So if you are working on a career or business, you know, could be bringing a lot of success. As always with you, Leo, you know, 10 of Pentacles can also represent hidden or secret information, and so there might be things that you shouldn't just gloss over, especially with that Knight of Swords energy. He's kind of like running over the surface too quickly, and he's not diving deep into the things that he needs to explore or learn about. And I get that feeling on the 10 of Pentacles. There's like two ways to read the 10 of Pentacles, and kind of like one of the little known meanings of the 10 of Pentacles is that this guy right here is actually a beggar, and he's coming and bringing this family a gift, and he kind of represents a person who has nothing to give, who is coming and bringing them a gift. So, you know, kind of like for us, you know, it represents finding information in an unlikely source. And, you know, I can't tell you how many times I've, like, watched a movie or watched a documentary or something that, like, teaches me about another area of my life, right? So that's what that means. It means that you could be getting information, you know, from a book that has nothing to do with your life, but maybe it provides you information for your life, right? And so I always tell people, you know, kind of like have your antenna on with the 10 of Pentacles. Like, when we look for answers, usually we find them, but just simply, you know, telling your brain that you're, like, open to information that could solve a problem problem or get you something you want, or, if you tell your brain you're looking for solutions. I talk to my brain all the time, right? And I definitely recommend it. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Lovers. So a little bit of love here. Again, maybe some of you feel like you're rushing into a love connection, or you don't want to rush into a love connection, but I don't know. We'll see where this goes. I need more detail in this reading. The Lovers could also represent being at a crossroads or picking a new path. And I feel a lot of you are kind of like moving in new directions. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Ten of Wands. This is all the work that you've been doing, obviously, and the story of the Ten of Wands is that he's about to reach his home in the background here, and he's about to have a harvest. So I feel for a lot of you, it's like you have been working very hard, and you are about to have a harvest. You could also be trying to protect your harvest. So, if you have built your life up to a certain point, you could be trying to make sure that you're protecting it from, people who are going to interrupt your peace, right? Or you're trying to protect it from things that could protect your peace. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Magician. You can have whatever you want here, Leo. The Magician says, using your powers of manifestation, you can create whatever you desire. The Magician is about reinvention, and he has a snake wrapped around his waist, and it represents the Ouroboros, which represents reinvention. And I do feel like you're reinventing yourself, because we go up to the Chariot. The Chariot driver, he kind of looks like the Magician, and he's holding a wand that is very similar to the Magician's wand, but he is leaving the city behind him behind. He is setting himself apart. I feel like this is I could be wrong, but I feel like this is a major repeat of the August reading. I would definitely go watch your August reading if you haven't already. It'll actually be linked up at the end of this video as well. But I feel that, I'm pretty sure I said something in your August reading about how, really you are meant to be different. It's like your journey is very different than anyone else's, and the Chariot is about setting yourself apart. If you do that, you will have a victory. You have this, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this recognition card. It says you will get the recognition and rewards you deserve. You're not going to get recognized if no one knows who you are. So, let down your guard a little bit with that Seven of Wands. You have this juggling card. It says prepare to be busy juggling many roles. Yeah, I think you are about to be very busy, kind of making a lot of moves, especially with that Chariot and the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords isn't like an all bad card. I don't really feel it's good or bad. I just think sometimes with the Knight of Swords we can rush something that shouldn't be rushed. But the Knight of Swords and the Chariot are both cards of momentum. You also have the Eight of Wands, which is a card of momentum. So things are clearly speeding up, and that's one thing that you could notice that is happening to you, I would say, the entire month of August. You have the Queen of Cups, Seven of Swords, and the Hangman. So the Queen of Cups is about following your heart and doing what your heart is telling you to do, but also listening to your intuition. We talk about that all the time, Leo. I feel like Leos are very intuitive, but you need to, kind of trust that your intuition is guiding you. I think you could be getting a lot of messages about pretty much everything, and maybe you're saying to yourself like, oh, am I crazy? Or, is this really a message? Or, did I really, was that dream really real? And I think the answer is yes. You need to listen to those messages you are receiving. You have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can be like lying, cheating, stealing, but really the Seven of Swords is a good card. Golden cards in the tarot are meant to be positive no matter what, and he is stealing those swords from an army in the background. So the Seven of Swords is a card of tactics. And every single reading since, the time of dinosaurs for you here, Leo, has been all about you kind of doing things in a different way. So anything that you want to accomplish, in your life, I feel like going up to the Chariot here, it's saying that you might be accomplishing things in a different way than you normally would, and that's perfectly fine. Don't be afraid to, again, set yourself apart, to be different. The Seven of Swords can also come up when we are taking things too seriously. He has these polka dots on his cloak, and polka dots in the tarot just represent taking things too seriously, needing to be more playful, needing to have a more fun approach. You have the Hangman. The Hangman is about gaining enlightenment. He's hanging from this tree of knowledge and wisdom. I think you've been held back for a long time, or maybe you feel like you've been held back. I don't know. Again, I don't know that life really holds us back. I think sometimes we feel like it does, but, maybe we're meant to learn something, or we're just gaining answers or enlightenment, just like the Hangman. And now I feel like you're getting ready to take off. And, we go over to this Eight of Wands. So it's like things are getting ready to speed up. And I feel like on a very simple level, that's what the reading is saying. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about taking the lead on something that you want and getting out into the world. He's holding on to this world. I always say it's like he's looking out at the world in front of him, but he's not looking at the world that he has in his hands. So I feel for a lot of you, this is about you needing to, get out into the world and needing to explore the world. That could be literally traveling. Could also be just learning new ideas or learning new ways of doing things. Could be very profitable or just abundant for you. With the Seven of Swords, what do you know? You have the Knight of Swords. See, I feel like, I'm not calling you out here, Leo, but I feel for those of you that are interested in love, this type of energy is like trying to figure a person out without actually talking to them. So, there you go. I'm calling you out, but whatever. Leo, you do you, right? And I feel that, and take it how it resonates. There could be a person in your life, and it could definitely be an air sign, because we have air right here. It could be any sign, general reading, but I'm pretty sure you had an air sign or like a Gemini, which you have right here, showing up in your last reading, or the one before that. I can't remember. But again, this looks like trying to figure someone out. It's like Seven of Swords, lying, cheating, stealing, but you could be wondering, will a person cheat on me again? Because we have the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands is like putting up the guard or putting up your boundaries. And it's like you're trying to figure out, if you get into something new, you might not even have your eye on a person. This might just be your mindset, like, is a person going to hurt me? Or, how quickly can I move towards a person or whatever? I don't know. I just feel a bunch of questions in my head with this energy. With the Hangman, you have the Hermit. Yes, it's time to show the world what you have learned. The Hermit, he has climbed to the top of the mountain, and I always say he needs to come down the other side of the mountain. He needs to come back down the mountain so that he can share what he has learned. And, I've been saying this to you for like 2 or 3 years now. I think you've been through kind of like a dark night of the soul or a difficult, soul-searching period of time, and now you have to show the world what you're made of. And I kind of feel like that's what the Hermit is saying in your reading. He has a star in his lantern, and the star is something that makes him feel very strong. It looks like there's a butt on my screen, but it's actually a coral. So I know some of you inappropriate Leos are going to think that was a butt, but it's not. So there you go. But you have the Hermit. So again, I think it's time for you to come down from the mountain, right? Next, in the area of the messages from your future self, you have this rabbit. It says pregnancy and fears. You have this dove. It says peace and serenity on it. So you could have a lot of fears about like where your life is going, but really, I think you should be at peace. Again, the Seven of Swords can represent taking things too seriously. So I think being more playful, exploring new ideas, exploring new directions, of course, is going to be very helpful for you. You have the Chariot, the Four of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. The Chariot is about charging towards a victory, so I do feel that there could be a big victory, or you're about to have a victory in your life, and I would definitely move towards like something that you're being guided to. These two sphinxes represent the mysteries of the universe, and sometimes I feel the Chariot is like a magnet, like we're being drawn into something, and so you could find yourself, and how do you know, right? Let's start there. How you know is like if you're just like in the shower, or you're like doing something random, like going for a walk, and you keep having thoughts that randomly pop out of nowhere that are guiding you towards something. It might be something you want to explore. Now, the Knight of Swords twice also says like don't rush. So you might be, this kind of says it would be a good time to maybe dabble in a new direction and just see how things go. Don't overinvest in something, don't underinvest in something. Find that sweet spot, that Goldilocks zone. So if you want to explore love, for example, it's like you can go on dates with people, but you don't have to look at their butt right away, right? You can wait, you can be patient, and you can just get to know a person, or you can get to know multiple people, go on multiple dates, and see how things go and just explore it, right? So I kind of feel the Chariot is talking about like a Goldilocks zone, or finding your Goldilocks zone, whatever that is. And this could be you taking risks in anything like business, work, love, money, spiritually, whatever. And I feel like that Chariot card is like find your sweet spot where you're not overinvesting, you're not underinvesting, but you're figuring things out. You have the Four of Swords, resting, relaxing, recovering, Mercury retrograde. We have Mars retrograding in your sign at the end of the year, and so I'm a big fan of kind of filling that energy bank, right? And I think it would be a great time to find things that fill your energy bank as well. It's like me, if I don't go for a walk every single day, I really, really suffer, right? Things start to go wrong in my life, and so walking is something that provides me with energy. Believe it or not, doing these tarot readings fills me with energy. Some days I start, I'm exhausted. Like actually the past couple days I've been super tired, even though I've totally been sleeping in, right? But I'm listening to my body, right? I'm sleeping in, I'm getting the extra rest. But usually by the time I'm done with my readings, I have like way more energy. So I think that the Four of Swords is saying, find those things that fill you with energy so that when we get to the end of the year, when we have Mars going retrograde in your sign, you're not just like scrambling, looking for energy. You actually know the things that can fulfill you, and I would find more of those things. You have the Seven of Cups, a lot of dreaming going on in your reading. And so the Seven of Cups, he is imagining how something is going to turn out, but he needs to find out. He has these 7 cups above him, but he needs to manifest some sort of dream on Earth so he can find out how it actually goes. So I think that for some of you, you could be charging towards a dream. It's like your future self is saying, take action. With the Chariot, you have the Emperor. I was literally going to say take action, and you have the Emperor right here, which is crazy. So I definitely feel it's time for you to take control of those reins and make something happen with the Chariot. And this could be, like I said, a very general reading. I think it's talking about all areas of your life. Readings where I have the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire. It does not mean you will have everything you want and desire, but it means you're like trying to work towards creating everything you want and desire in your life, and which I think is always like a worthy goal, like trying to make your life here as good as possible. And I feel like that's what you're doing. And the Emperor just says take action. With the Four of Swords, you have the Ace of Swords. Yeah, this will, gathering your energy, practicing doing the things that fulfill you and fill you back up, those types of activities, those are the things that will lead to the victories in the future. So this is messages from your future self. This is the area of the good stuff. And we have the Ace of Swords twice, which is a victory, but again, there you go. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Sun. The Sun is your card, and I feel for a lot of you, the Sun is saying you need to move towards the Sun. The Sun shines a light on things that make you happy. The Sun shines a light on things that could bring joy, fulfillment, and happiness into your life. And the Sun is shining a light on some sort of dream with that Seven of Cups or something that you've been imagining. And I feel the Sun is saying move towards the Sun. It's just that simple, Leo. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this card. It says Spirit has a plan. You have this Ant card. It says time to collaborate. Yeah, I think we're moving into a time of collaboration. Again, I always say I truly believe we're moving away from competition and we're moving into a time of co-creation. So any co-creation or any working together with other people in love and business, spiritually, in any area of your life will be very beneficial for you. And I feel like that's what this is saying. It's like saying you are moving towards a time of co-creation. You have the Ace of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Wands. The Ace of Swords is a victory. Again, the whole entire reading, there's this kind of like little thread of communication. So there could be important communication, or you could be receiving communication from a person. And again, I think that would be good for you, but definitely a victory. You have the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is material success on the horizon. So a lot of you, I feel, are worried about finances. Somewhere in here, we were talking about this. The Hangman. We were talking about how you feel like you've been held back, or that's kind of like the feeling I get. The way I read, I put myself in your shoes, right? And I feel like you have been held back or something with that Hangman energy. And I feel like the Eight of Pentacles is actually results that you're receiving from work that you did in the past. Now that might mean that you have to do more work, right? You could just be teaching. A hermit was like the solution to the Hangman. Hangman, hermit says, come down from the mountain, show the world what you know. And I feel that's how you could be getting these rewards with the Eight of Pentacles. You have the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is like quick success or quick conclusion, and so I feel like there could be just quick success coming in for you. This could be quick success from communication. So if you're communicating, then there could be success coming in because you're communicating. But this could also be your focus, especially with the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is laser-like focus, being very, very focused on doing one thing and making it happen. And the Eight of Wands is also a card of focusing in a direction and making something happen. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Seven of Swords. So Seven of Swords twice. Again, I think that looking for other or better ways to do, pretty much anything that you're doing in your life would be a good idea. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the King of Cups here. You have the King and Queen of Cups here. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be like a divine counterpart. A King and Queen of Cups would be like a very loving, spiritual, kind of like even intuitive connection where you read each other's minds. So it could be a very good connection. I like the Eight of Pentacles for love because it's a person who actually, wants to put in the work. So again, I don't know, looks pretty good to me. There you go. With the Eight of Wands, yes, I called you out in the beginning of the reading. So there you go. Page of Cups, an admirer, doesn't even want to focus here. And so I feel that for a lot of you, this could be like a new person that you're going to be focusing on in the future. It is Mercury retrograde, so I would take your time. I always tell people, I think that the whole Mercury retrograde rules are a little bit ridiculous because, astrology, tarot doesn't control your life. Sure, we'll take it. So again, I always tell people, just like the thing with Mercury retrograde, if you meet a new person, just take your time. You have this chain card. It says chain of events that will affect your life. Chariot, Eight of Wands. These are all cards of like one thing leading to another, and so definitely a chain of events. You have this mice card. It says discord among family or friends. Yeah, I think that, Leo, I don't think this is saying like don't care about your family and friends. Of course not. But sometimes I think Leo cares too much. And, I feel like this is saying that like there could actually be a risk that you could take at this time. And yes, maybe there could be a negative circumstance that comes about if you take this risk, but it's like only a potential. It's like I always think of that book, The War of Art. And yes, I mean The War of Art, not The Art of War. So I know exactly what I'm saying. The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. He uses the example that a lot of the times, some of the things that we say to ourselves about why we can't do something is exactly why we should do something. I think in the book, he uses the example of the single mother that wants to start a business. It's like she might say, oh, I'll start this business, when my kids go to college or whatever. But it's like, really, if she would start it right now, it could change their lives right now. And I feel like that's what this is saying. It's like saying there might be some choices that you want to make. And yeah, it's like, yeah, maybe it's a risk, but it could also change your life and everybody else's right now. You have this basket card. It says recognition, reward for merit. So you could be receiving recognition. We have the sun here, which is a lot of attention. I would be trying to get attention with the sun. I always say the sun wants us to get attention. And so there you go. You have this carriage. It says a journey, either physical or mental. Chariot, Knight of Swords, Eight of Wands, Ace of Swords. The list goes on and on. Definitely a great time for any adventures that you want to take. This card flew off the deck. You have this desk card. It says pay attention to your work. And you have this hand. It says in need of help, assistance, or guidance. So if you need help with anything, don't be afraid to speak up. The whole entire reading says speak up, Leo. That's where your success will come from. But really good reading, Leo. I love it. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.